Sean, we're down here at the diversion channel, which is at a lower elevation, so the guest house and the property are above us. And this is a beautiful spot, and you built a beautiful stair system down here to the diversion channel. Can you tell us a little bit about this body of water?
Absolutely. This has got quite a history itself. Believe it or not, looking at it today, you'd never know, but this was actually man-made. Back in the early 40s, I believe, they had to redirect the water around one of the lakes that they were going to mine for iron, which is about a mile away from us. And so they dug, I'm guessing this must be like 3 miles long. They dug this trench, essentially, that's about 5 stories from top to bottom. And it's referred to as a diversion channel because it diverted the water from the Embarrass River's original location around the mine pit over to this location. So back in the 40s, this looked like a nuclear bomb site. I've seen pictures of it. It was just amazing. It was this huge trench dug for miles in the earth, and 70 years later, we have what we're looking at now. You'd never know it wasn't a natural river. So
I'm gonna take the camera and so folks can see what this looks like, and your guests can bring their lawn chairs down here. It's pretty shallow.
Absolutely. It varies in depth along its route, but the area right out in front of us is probably from waist deep all the way to just ankle deep. So we often come down here and just plop lawn chairs right in the ankle deep water, and you can sit all day, probably not see another person. An occasional canoe or kayak might be coming down from Giant's Ridge. The Mesabi bike trail is actually right at the top of the bank on the opposite side from us. Our guest house is on the top of the bank on the side we're standing on. And just a great place to be in nature.
And I hear what sounds like a waterfall, but and I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but that's not a waterfall, is it? But it sounds just like them, or just like one. What is that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful waterfall sound, and that's part of the reason why I chose the location, because our property borders this river for a good probably quarter mile. But I chose to build the steps right here, largely because there's a culvert that is draining a mine pit on the other side.
Okay.
And it drops off and dumps the water in the diversion channel just 50 feet behind the camera here. So all summer long you've got the sound of a waterfall to listen to, but it's actually a culvert.
And this is, it's got a lot of movement in this body of water. Does it freeze in the winter?
It never freezes, no. It's always moving, and it's August, or late August right now, almost September. And 2 months ago, when the runoff is coming off the Giant's Ridge ski hills and the water is high, it's going to be probably 2 to 3 feet higher than it is right now, I would say.
Okay.
So
when all the snow is melting on the mountain.
Yep,
okay.
Spring and early summer, it's really raging through here, which is a pretty unique sight in itself. And then as the summer goes on, it slowly gets lower and lower, and now it's just kind of more of a meandering, slow-moving river. So.
And what about you took me up to a platform that is up the woods that way, so it's, I don't know, 20 feet above us maybe. And what are you building? It looks like that's your new project under construction right now.
And right now it's a 8x12 platform that we built just about 1 story above the water level, looking right over the water. And right now it's just a platform. Next summer we're going to enclose it as a screen shelter, so it can just be used for lounging when the mosquitoes are out without having to worry about them. It can actually be used to sleep in at night, and it'll be large enough that we may even put a bed in there for some comfortable sleeping with the water right next to you.
And there's a new term emerging in the recreation industry, probably maybe not new to you, but new to many of us, called glamping.
Exactly.
And that stands for glamorous camping?
Exactly.
Okay, and so is that what you envision here later when you finish that?
That's one of the uses for it. Yeah, we've kind of been intrigued by the glamping concept and looked at a lot of places. It's getting popular in the mountains in the west and on the east coast. There's a lot of spots popping up, and basically what they're trying to do is make camping fun and comfortable and unique. And so rather than sleeping on the hard uneven ground, maybe getting wet when it rains because your tent leaks, glamping kicks it up a notch and gives you maybe a nice bed inside of a screen shelter, so you're out of the bugs, you're up off the ground. It's like sleeping in your bed at home, but you've got nature all around you. Generally you might have rustic plumbing, you may or may not have power, but you've got a comfortable indoor environment that still gives you the feel of nature, and that's what glamping is.
So for folks that don't have or haven't purchased all the camping equipment, this would be a good alternative then if they want to just try camping and don't want to invest a large sum of money up front. They could give this a try.
Absolutely, yeah. Our long-term goal with the platform, as well as doing some summer cottages, is to not just create a different experience, but to have a different price point that people can get up to northern Minnesota, have lodging options at a number of different price points, from the modern, luxurious barn home that we've already looked at to the more rustic, 3-season, solar-powered, outdoor plumbing type glamping scenario. And we've also got the Mesabi Trail, as I mentioned, going right by our property on the other side of the river here. So we definitely want to have an attraction for people that want to do long portions of the Mesabi Trail rather than just coming up for a day ride. Why not have a place to stay right along the trail and spend the night, get on your bike, go on to the next place, maybe a hotel, maybe a bed and breakfast, or maybe camping with your own gear at another location. And we're at a great spot here, and we've got nice location with the river, so we just want to have a number of different lodging options for folks to try out.
Well, Sean, I think this is the last leg of our tour, and thank you so much for sharing this really special place. It might not come across in the videos or our discussions, but people have to just really get out here to see how special this place is. If you're coming up to northern Minnesota, I can't think of a better place to stay. And so thank you for sharing this with us.
Well, thank you.